I have a checklist here of questions that can help you identify your personal values. And the instructions it says, brainstorm the answers to the following questions, make a list of the important values that you identify, and how you plan on demonstrating these values in your life. And this is what I wrote. So it says, what makes you feel good about yourself? ? And I wrote, accomplishment, when I complete a challenge or I face my fears. Accomplishing things for me has always been a bit of a struggle. I have a hard time finishing things. I especially have had low self-esteem throughout my life, and facing my fears has always been a hardship of mine too. So I am especially grateful when I complete something, because I worked really hard to have confidence in myself, and that is a reflection of it. Next question is, what is your ideal career? I wrote, working with others. I want to work as a frontline worker. I want to work with people that are homeless, helping bridge the gap between getting to programming, like getting into detox and getting into treatment, and then helping with aftercare, like help finding them a job, maybe finding funding a government program that can help subsidize people getting full-time work to just help them feel accountable. And then also creating art, because I was a photographer for a long time. Creation is like a big part of my core belief system, and I just love making things. And it also says writing a book and traveling to promote. I am on page 90 of my book so far. It is my life story. I'm about 14 years old. I haven't done any of it this weekend, but I'm going to get back on that. I've always wanted to be an author. When I was on the streets in Vancouver, one of the things that I promised myself was that I am going to write a book when I get out of here, and I owe it to my past self. Yeah. So the next question is, what impacts you the most? And I wrote, when I reflect on my past and I see how far I've grown. Because, as I was saying, I was extremely, critical on myself. I had low self-esteem. I would not complete something just because I thought I was going to fail. So the fact that I try things without rhyme or reason, I believe that I owe it to my past self to become the best version of myself today. That woman on the streets of Vancouver, she survived through some severely traumatic situations, and like I said, I owe it to her to become the best version of myself. The second question, or the fourth question here is, what would you change about the world? And I put more wealth distribution and to focus on kindness. It's pretty self-explanatory. The world that we're living in right now. It's hard to get by. And people could be a little bit kinder. Fifth question, what would I change about myself? And I said, nothing. I like the person that I am today because of everything that I've gone through. I have become the person that I am today, and if I was to change anything, then it would change who I am as a person. And it says, what am I most proud of? I said, my family, me surviving Hastings, leaving BC, and choosing to live instead of dying, which is absolutely the truth. I worked really hard to get out of there. Like I said, that there were spirits or entities or something that you hold people back when they make the decision to leave. And the fact that I was able to be stronger than those and get out of there just shows just shows me how strong of a person that I actually am. And the final question here, it says, when were you the happiest? And I said, today. I feel much happier. than I ever have, and I've never actually felt so happy and confident as I am today, which is true. And I had to learn that by going through hell. I had to learn that by going through what I went through in Vancouver on Hastings, struggling, barely getting by. But one thing I learned is like the merit of hard work. It doesn't matter what type of a person you are. As long as you work hard, you will get what you need, and it always works out in the end. And you will survive. You just got to keep trying. And then this says some personal values down here, personal values list. So I did a checklist. There was a checklist of like 50 values. Then we took a minute to go through it, and we had to pick 25. And then from that 25, we had another minute to go through and pick 10. And then from that, we had another 30 seconds to go through and pick 5. And then we had 10 seconds to pick 3. I picked 4, I guess. So I guess clearly I can't read directions, but it says personal values is creativity. I am an artist above everything. If you ask anybody to describe me, they would say that I am creative. Being kind, like no matter what. I may not be the nicest person because I believe that being kind and being nice are two different things. Being present, like I said, living in the moment is really important to me. It just makes life go by at an even pace, and I experience things now, like, with being sober, and gaining wealth and security because of my addiction. I'm a little bit behind in that, so I'm going to spend this next 10 years really buckling down and building what I can so that I have something to retire on, So, yeah. If you're struggling on finding your values, maybe there's some questions here that might be able to help you out with that. And maybe I can go through that list, because like I said, I guess I got the ability to do lives now, so maybe I'll do that on a live. So, thank you.